Okay, we'll be doing the before start engine checklist. Our battery master switch is on. This is going to allow the PFD and the MFD to warm up. Our pre-flight inspection has been complete. Our cabin door is secure. Our seat belts and harnesses are on and set. Our brakes are set. Our circuit breakers over here, want to visually check that they are all in. Alternate static source under the panel is off. Our carb heat is off. Our avionics master switch and autopilot master switch are off, and our fuel selector is on the desired tank on the right tank. Our passenger briefing is complete. Before starting checklist is complete. Okay, now we'll be doing the normal start checklist for a cold engine. We have our PFD warming up, and the AHRS is aligning, and our multifunction display has our engine instruments over here. Throttle, 1/4 inch in. Strobe lights are on. Nav lights are off. Our fuel pump and alternator are on. Confirm the strobes once more. Mixture, full rich. We have our parking brake set. Our area is clear, and we're going to yell, "Clear prop," so we know nobody else is around. So we are ready for the engine start. So now we will put our feet on the brakes in the event that the parking brake were to fail. Have one hand on the throttle, one hand on the key. So we'll bring it all the way to the ignition. The prop is going to start. We will then bring the throttle back as the engine engages. There we go. The engine is lighting up. Our fuel pressure is going up. Our annunciator panels are off. Now we'll complete the checklist by checking the oil pressure, which is almost in the green here at 55 and rising. And our electrical equipment is working normally at 21 amps and 28 volts on the bus. That completes the normal start. After starting engine checklist now, strobe lights are off. Radio master switch is on. Our autopilot and flight director master switch are on. Fuel pump is off. We check our fuel pressure. Over here, everything's looking good. Mixture, we're going to lean it for taxi by bringing it back to the X on mixture. That will reduce fuel for taxi. Our flaps are set 0. Our radios are set to test. We will simply acknowledge the database on both GPS 1 and 2 to get these ready for departure. Our flight instruments we're going to check and set. We're checking airspeed is 0. Our attitude indicator align. Our altimeter is within 75 feet, and our VSI is 0. And then we're going to go down to the bottom part and check our magnetic compass with our HSI. Both are reading 0, 9, or 5 degrees and are set. Our transponder is on standby down here, squawking 1200 for VFR. Our fuel selector, we're going to switch the tanks from right to left, and we're going to call dispatch and ramp out, which we have already done. So before we taxi, we will complete the taxi checklist. Our taxi area is clear. Our parking brake is released. Now we're going to apply our throttles and slowly check the brakes, which are working correctly, and from there we will taxi out to our active runway, which will be 9 left for today, and check the steering as well. Start taxi checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist, alternator and master switches are on. Our magnetos are on and checked. Flight instruments have been set and checked. Our fuel selector is on our desired tank, which is our left tank for takeoff. Our fuel pump is on. Engine gauges are in the green. Our carb heat is off. Our mixture, full rich. Seat belts have been fastened. Seat bags are up. Our flaps are set 0 for a normal takeoff. Our trim is also set for normal takeoff, neutral position. Cabin doors and windows are secure. Our controls are free. Our crew takeoff briefing has been completed. Transponder is on altitude. Landing light is on. Our strobes are on. Our air conditioner is off. And our parking brake has been released. That completes the before takeoff checklist. Runway heading, cleared for takeoff, runway 9 left, 6207. Okay, so now we're going to slowly apply our throttles. We're going to bring the engines up to around 1700 RPM. We're going to check our engine instruments are in the green and normal, which they are. We are now going to apply max takeoff thrust while adding in our right rudder pressure as needed for left turning tendencies. Our airspeed alive, our power is set, and our engine instruments are normal. "60 knots. We're going to gently now rotate our nose and let the plane fly itself off the runway. So now we're reducing our nose pressure to pitch for VY, which is going to be approximately 76 knots, which will give us a climb out on runway heading at about 500 to 600 feet per minute. Along with our climb out, we still want to glance over at our instruments to make sure that they are all still in the green. At this point, we're waiting for ATC to let us know to contact departure. En route climb after takeoff checklist. Our airspeed is set, our thrust is set, our electric fuel pump is now off, our fuel pressure has been checked. On the MFD, fuel is flowing and is normal, our landing light is off, and our flaps are set to 0. After takeoff, en route climb checklist is complete. Okay, we have reached our cruising altitude now. We're going to do the cruise checklist. We have our autopilot set, heading and altitude bars are set. Our cruise power has been set, our trim is set, mixture is set, our electric fuel pump has been turned off, our fuel pressure is still green, landing light is off, and our engine gauges are still in the green. Our cruise checklist is now complete.